So let's switch to English now. I'm here with the Alpha Slayers team. We're gonna have a little interview, AMA, just talk a little bit about all that crypto and Kadena stuff. And yeah, so first of all, let's introduce this week's guest. So Mike is on you.
Perfect. Let me go ahead. So I'm Oscar, and I'm also part of the Alpha Slayers founders team together with Arne. We've started this project in February, March. And ever since we've been in the Kadena ecosystem, hustling our way through and creating and building this project, building the community. And yeah, basically what our project is about, we are an alpha sharing community. So what we do is we bring analysts of small cap projects, especially from different chains, into one platform. So right now this is Discord, together, and let them share their alpha research. So we let them share, we let them research early projects in no matter what ecosystem, and bring it all together in one centralized platform, so to say. So because a problem that we had in the beginning is we were also researching early stage projects, and we realized, okay, time is limited. You only have so many hours per day, and yeah, that limits you usually to one or maybe two ecosystems. So for us, that was the Terra ecosystem and Ethereum. I think Arne was also on Solana a little bit, and then we had those one or two play to earn games and on another ecosystem, and you quickly lose overview of like what you're researching day to day, and that gave us the idea to create this platform where we bring together analysts from different chains to like share a brief overview of each project that is building at the moment, and also evaluate the projects from the beginning onwards, so you actually know, okay, is it worth looking into that project or not? And that saves you a lot of time and also gives you like the wisdom of many, so to say, because like different analysts can discuss if it's worth investing in a project or not. And yeah, we thought the ideal way to do so is building a platform and putting it all together, but we didn't know how to incentivize it. And that's when we came up with the idea of building an NFT project around it and combining the alpha sharing process with the art project. And yeah, we can talk more about that later on.
Definitely. And I think that's really smart because on my side, I started my YouTube channel with testnets and airdrops because I really saw a gap in the airdrop side on YouTube, or the sharing community. So I thought, okay, let's make a YouTube channel, let's show people what airdrops they are. And I also really realized pretty fast that there's so much to learn. And also when I got into Kadena, now when I do airdrop videos, I always say, yo, do your own research, or I can't really get into every project, or not really many projects, because there's so much to learn. And basically every project, every blockchain is so different. So I think this is a really great idea, especially, yeah, for the alphas, because I also like to share alpha, but as you said, time is limited, and this is something which I think will really help the people and the different communities, because it's not only Kadena we are looking at here, we're looking at blockchain the whole, and growing and learning about blockchain. And I think you can't like learn about all the different stuff if you only focus on Kadena. It's great to have then articles or all that stuff that you're going to bring us the value from different blockchains. So if I know a lot about Kadena, I'll be able to see all the different parts. If I get alpha from this project on this blockchain, I can see, okay, this doesn't fit with this. I think, you know, what I mean. So you learn if you see both sides. So if you only look at one side on Kadena and don't focus or read about other shit, you won't really understand the differences. So this is amazing. I'm really looking forward to you.
Exactly.
Maybe one thing to add. So what we are also trying to get across is sharing methodologies and basically strategies, right? So on the one hand, this is trading strategies. So for instance, today we have released a complete tutorial on how to basically trade options and hedge them against any downside risk. So it's basically a market strategy, right? And some people are interested in this. And the other thing, like the other type of methodology that we are that we want to share or that we have been sharing as well is essentially how to look at projects, right? So like over the years, we've just developed a pretty rich set of like indicators basically that show you, you know, this is either a red flag or this is kind of a positive thing, right? And the nice thing about crypto is that you have constantly new people coming in, but they basically start from zero, right? And this is what it was for us, just you know, basically like a few years ago, right? And it's only when we kind of discovered these two sides, so like what strategies are even out there and what methodologies do you have, and like how do you actually need to examine a project that you can make, you know, basically increase your odds, right? This is what it's all about.
And what's your background? Yeah, basically, do you have something correlating to those the project you are doing now, or why you are doing those things?
Yeah, so maybe Oscar can talk a little bit about his microcap background. I think for me it was more like I've always approached crypto from a more technical side. So I've originally studied business, but I've been programming for many years, and been you know, I've also deployed code on mainnet Ethereum, and that's where I spent most of my time. And then I got into Pact, but like next to all this, we were always programming. Sorry, we were always investing, right? And sorry, it's a little bit loud here because I'm standing outside of a hackathon right now.
You do it. I don't hear that.
Yeah, but that's basically like my personal background. Maybe Oscar can speak a bit as well on this.
Yeah, from my side, it was basically the way I got into crypto was I did in, I think it was 2019 or 2020, I did a course from the MIT, the blockchain course, because I got interested in the topic, and but I wasn't really invested, and then started investing pretty soon after. But also I did some main investments. I started off like every crypto investor probably starts off, and then there's then I dug in deeper and deeper into this like rabbit hole, and yeah, never came out of it again. And yeah, a lot of friends ask me, is there still money to be made in the crypto space? And I think that's something that is easily answered with yeah, information asymmetry. So a lot of people who get into crypto or just invest into crypto to have some exposure invest through a centralized exchange, either Binance, Coinbase. Some do it on KuCoin and or CoinEx or something like that, but the majority just has some exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe some other stuff that's listed on a centralized exchange, but they don't really know what it's about. They don't even know the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like I always compare it to the stock market. Like they wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between Spotify and Amazon, for example, right? Because they actually don't know what's behind the project. And if you go like a level deeper, I think you already lose 80% of the crypto investors because they don't even go on chain and have a look what's going on chain. Then you start using like your first chains, dive into the ecosystem. You actually realize, okay, there's a lot of stuff happening behind the curtains. Like if you go into, then you discover like Discord, Twitter, Telegram, discover like where the community is hanging out. Watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to actually use it, how to set up a wallet and everything, and then you realize, okay, you actually start using it day to day, right? For me, it was like a lot of DeFi protocols in the beginning. Yeah? I started using them really like day to day, kind of use them as my bank, right? Like obviously not with all of my like personal wealth, so to say, but yeah, it grew and grew like to a bigger portion also because like the like micro cap research really like paid off early on. And I think timing is also like yeah, for me it was probably lucky being like rightly timed, but in the end, if you put in the work, put in the time, and actually look what's behind each of the protocols, you start finding some gems, and then you spend more and more time in crypto, and then you realize, okay, you kind of belonging to like a very small percentage of crypto investors who actually have like a really deep analytical view into protocols. And I think that's where you find an edge. And that's why I think, yeah, time spent, and also like if you know how to like research a project, you have a huge upside potential financially, but also like from a learning perspective, right? In the beginning, like your learning curve is really steep, but even nowadays, I would say I'm still learning like every single day. Like I'm learning something new. And I think that's like the beautiful part about crypto, and it's so accessible for really everyone in this world, right? As long as you have an internet access.
Yeah, because I also got into crypto, let's say, between 1 and 2 years ago. First got into Cardano, then also in some of their NFTs. And I think it's the first hurdle to get over after months of being a little bit on crypto Twitter and only having NFTs, buying it with a whitelist price and then selling it. I think those were for many of us, and also in the last bull run or NFT boom, like the biggest mindset, only buying NFTs and selling high and not knowing what everything's about. And I think everyone needs like a few months to start learning the beginning of crypto, and then you realize how deep the hole is. And yeah, the more you learn, the more you really see how all of this is being built and what this actually is. And yeah, so I always tell people, take your time. It is gonna take a bit, but just learn it, get into it. I've also used like many DeFi protocols and so on without really knowing what it does. But I mean, you learn. It doesn't matter if you use it for an airdrop first, or if you get into the project to make a 5x on the NFT. But if you keep in mind that like know what crypto is, what proof of work is, I don't know, and you want to learn something, I think it's great for everyone to start learning and get in early. I mean, we are early in this ecosystem right now, you know, so it's a fun ride. And when I start watching other videos or like your guys' videos, even if I don't understand too much, you know, I want to learn this, because if you learn different aspects of DeFi, of crypto, it will all start to make sense. Yeah, if you talk about NFTs, DeFi here, this year, it will all create a chain web for your brain. That's how I see it.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And I mean, as you mentioned, like some people get into NFTs for like flipping it for like a quick buck, but there's also the community is built around it. And I think what we're really trying to do with the Alpha Slayers Club is creating a community of like really committed individuals who actually see like a utility behind this NFT. So like the utility behind this NFT has to be greater than the incentive to sell it on a secondary market, right? Yeah. So I think that's what a lot of NFT projects are really struggling with. And for us, it's just like the constant creation of this alpha information that should make your like initial investment pay off really quickly in the end. And yeah, so it should become like a no-brainer to actually buy this NFT and mint it in the first place. And for people to get in a later stage, if you like decide not to mint it, you have to pay the price that the market decides that it's worth, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty fun. If you think about what alpha you're gonna share, and let's say after a few months, people really learn so much stuff about it. There's not gonna be too many people wanting. That's what I think, wanting to sell if they get into the NFT because of what the utility is gonna be. And if you just said minted, so where what was the intention behind going to the Hypercent launchpad? Because there's different launchpads and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, Anne, do you want to take the question?
Yeah, so we got really lucky. So actually, just a few weeks into the project, we were. I mean, we obviously were looking at a few different launchpads, and Hypercent was actually our favorite, just from looking at it from the outside. And yeah, so we were already talking to one of their team members, and he's also with us, working with us now. Lazo Skill, I'm sure some of you know him from Twitter. And yeah, so but we hadn't really gotten into the weeds, and then one day we got the call, and we got basically offered a seat on their launchpad, and so yeah, I mean, it was just a fantastic opportunity for us, and we were so grateful for this opportunity, because it really validated what we were doing, right? So we always thought that the Hypercent guys were like taking things extremely seriously, like from a quality standpoint, and everything that they're putting out is just on point. And I think around the time they were just getting ready for the mock IDO, and which went super well. So I think they gave a lot of support there. In the midst of all this, yeah, we were basically asked, hey, do you guys wanna jump the train? And so at that point, we, you know, this kind of took away so many of our worries. So, well, not worries really, right? But like basically operational things that we would have to do. So basically creating the contracts and all that. And like we were comfortable that we were going to be do this, but it's, you know, just a few things that you can take off your list, right? This allows you to then focus on something else. And I think they gave us a fantastic offer, and so there was no way we were going to turn this down. We didn't tell them in the beginning, but yeah, that's really what it was. And yeah, so right now, I mean, we're in the middle of preparation, and yeah, maybe Oscar can say something about the mint date as well. But yeah, let's just say we're super close, and so like there's a lot of things to coordinate, right, with getting the collection ready and like having everything basically perfect, right? Because like it's a real NFT, right? It's launching on Marmalade, so there is absolutely no way we can do anything about it afterwards, and then we don't want to, right? That's the whole point of it. But yeah, that's basically why you know we have to, yeah, we just have to be careful not to mess things up. But yeah, it's been nothing but helpful. And anyone who is thinking about launching their own collection, I mean, there's a few different options now, also in the Kadena space. But I mean, if you're doing a serious project, and you know, if you're okay with doxing yourself, which is kind of correlating, then you know, I would definitely recommend that you look into it. And of course, there's also Kitty Launch and like a few other places, maybe Abena, they also like to help out. But yeah, like if you actually want to do like a high quality collection that stands the like that's going to be lasting, right, and stands the test of time, then I think Hypercent is definitely a fantastic choice, at least from what we can tell.
Yeah, so you're gonna launch on the Marmalade standard and gonna be the first NFT on Hypercent, which is great. And I'm really excited for you guys. And I don't know if you've seen those controversies today and yesterday about the NFTs on Kadena, about the provenance hash not being available for, I don't know, many projects because they've launched on the Butter standard. Like, I'm no pro, I just listen to those things. So do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, so I mean, Ryan Meta was bringing this up, and I think we've had this discussion a few times already with also other project leads. So essentially, so just to give some background, so Marmalade is like the official standard that's been built by the team, and I don't want to get in too deep into the details, but like it's a really smart NFT design, right? Also, if you compare it to ERC 721 on Ethereum, like they basically took what's good and then build like some useful features on top, right? Let's just put it that way. Now the NFT projects that you can see on Kadena right now are basically not tokens, right? So the way how, like most of the contracts that I've seen are essentially following the Kitty Cat contract. So Kitty Cat was one of the very first NFT projects to launch, and so if you look at it, it's like there's like a slight difference between a database entry and a token, right? And so I think Kitty Cat has never made a secret out of this, and like basically they just wanted to get stuff out of the door, but it has very different mechanics. And in the end, it is your address gets entered into a table. And then it basically gets linked to your NFT ID, right? And this constitutes your ownership relationship, okay? And I think the criticism that came out was that this isn't real ownership, right? So it's basically sitting in the contract, and that's not totally off, but it's also not 100% how you would design an NFT, okay? And I think in the end, I think this is like there's some truth to this whole discussion, but to be honest, I mean, in the NFT space, it's in the end like it's about so many more things than just the technical implementation, right? And like you see this everywhere, and as long as there isn't a way to basically mess with the whole contract altogether, it's probably not about the NFT contract, right? Because like if you as a project founder are starting to mess with things, it really doesn't matter if you're running on a proper contract or if you are like on a real token, or if you are basically managing the contracts there, right? You have access to the keys, and like in the end, a rug pull is a rug pull is a rug pull, right? Like and this doesn't change, and it totally doesn't matter. But I can understand that there are some concerns, and I think also looking forward, there is basically this divide of some projects now going. Sorry, super loud. Some projects going, with a pragmatic approach of what's already out there, right? Marmalade simply hadn't been launched and documented properly for such a long time, and people were just eager to get things going. And this is what we're seeing right now. And I think going forward, what's going to be interesting is which standard is going to prevail, right? So for instance, we have Arcade Fun, right? Which is has become like one of the, probably the biggest marketplace for NFTs on Kadena right now. And guess what? Like they're basically following like this kitty cat concept, right? And they're working on this together. And I think from an execution standpoint, this is far better, right? Now, if you fast forward a little bit, the serious projects that are launching on this, on this pragmatic standard today, they will always have the option to switch to whatever standard is going to be relevant in the future, right? So, once Marmalade is basically done and dusted, right, and there's all kinds of tooling around, and so on, any project can simply switch, right, move tokens over, airdrop those new tokens, and everybody's happy, right? So in the end, I think in the long run for the good projects, it's going to be looking all the same, and for the bad projects as well, right? Because they're just going to disappear and that's it. Yeah. So yeah, just to sum it up, like I understand some of the concerns, but I think like the way how it has been presented and discussed is like a little bit off, because it's kind of this whole illusion of, yeah, like everything is decentralized. Well, it's not. It's totally not, right? Like projects are so dependent on the founders and like whoever's driving it, you know, and like, of course, once you have like a super strong community going, then they're going to be able to take it on their own. But like not to be disrespectful at all, but I don't think there is any project right now in Kadena where the community is so strong that they would be able to do everything on their own, right? So yeah, those are my 20 cents on this. Yeah.
No, awesome. Yeah, I kind of have the same opinion. You know, I don't know anything technical about this, but I mean, we are early in this. Marmalade is not fully out. Projects wanna build, and I don't know. I'm just enjoying this and listening to all those different opinions on this, and I don't know. I want to see where this goes, what the marketplaces are gonna do, how things are gonna turn out. Yeah, was just an interesting question right now. So yeah,
and I think it's also a healthy discussion, right? So these discussions
definitely
need to be had, and this is going to move things forward, right? And so my perception is that, you know, there's a lot of fun NFT projects, right? And they're just made for fun, right? And you have to take them for what they are. And you know, it's cool that there are some people that are super passionate about something, and I think that's great, and that can be the basis for something huge. But like NFTs are also useful for things that are not images, right? And you know, and like if they are becoming part of like some infrastructure, like this is when you need cutting edge security, right? But like also, if you, I mean, you could have launched the goblins on Ethereum, or like these moonbirds or whatever. Like you can basically all launch them on Google Sheets if you wanted, and the result would pretty much be the same, right? The only thing is you don't get this interconnectivity with the marketplaces. And there, my suspicion is that if over the long run, like things are going to converge with Marmalade or converge to Marmalade. And this is also why we never questioned where we're going to launch, right? So we thought about doing this token swap at some point, you know, and basically launching the Kitty standard as well. But we think that Marmalade is gonna be the thing that persists, and so yeah, that's our stand on this one.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, and I think also Hypercent might have some alpha as to where the token standard is going to go. Yeah.
All right, now you got me hooked up. Now I wanna hear more, bro.
Maybe you can beat that.
I mean, that's something like I was kind of alluding to, but there are some really serious projects on Kadena, right? So, you know, Lago is another example. We've talked to them a few days ago, and we were, you know, blown away. And then it's so cool to have these projects around, and they're going to be the ones driving adoption, right? Not some fun project, right? Like they're fun, right? But there is no end game to this, right? But if you have a team like Lago, and good thing is there are a few more teams of that caliber, and Hypercent is certainly one of them, and they're so much closer to the Kadena team, right? And like they're having totally different discussions, and this is why we think, you know, in the end, like there's been a lot of thought going into Marmalade, right? And there's a reason why it took so long. And they couldn't care less about some meme projects, you know, not being able to launch, right? They care about a lot of different things, right? And like also working with Hypercent, this has really told us a lesson. And this is also what kept us bullish on this whole ecosystem also, like through the stupid downturn right now, right? Because we know there are some teams that are so committed, and they've got like huge rosters of people working on these visions. And I think this is what Oscar was basically hiding underneath this one term.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I also say nearly every video. I think everyone should watch all the Kadena live streams and their Medium articles, like showing all those projects, because they are not just making NFTs, they are building some real shit. So, you know, because it's out of your sight, it shouldn't be out of your mind. That's why I always reread all the articles, try to catch all the live streams, go on their websites, like really try to see what they are building, because as you said, those are going to be those projects driving Kadena up, because yeah, it's not only about NFTs. Yeah,
A little bit.
I mean, a little bit, and I think NFTs are gonna change the game, or at least what we can do with those NFTs. You know, it's not profile picture collections. At least on Kadena, I think profile picture collections will not be maybe like on Ethereum or as big as Ethereum, because we will see the true power of Marmalade, of Kadena, of the whole project, and I think that's gonna blow people's minds what we will see. Definitely, and like every week, every day, when I see something new coming up or learn something new, it blows my mind what's building up here, what's all gonna happen. So I'm thinking really long term and trying to learn as much as possible. And as I also say in every interview, like I really enjoy talking to you guys, because I learned so much. I'm not from a technical background. I haven't been in crypto for too long, but I don't know, I think I really see and like I can understand stuff pretty good, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So another question which may be very interesting for everyone watching. You've said you may have some info about the launch date. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes and no. We cannot announce it now, but it's going to be announced on Monday, most likely.
Okay.
And yeah, but I can tell it to you already. It's going to be
awesome.
It's going to be very soon. Very soon. Yeah.
I'll have to save some funds. Again, did you already release a mint price or so? I don't have it in my head. Or is it?
Yes, we've announced it, and it's going to be, for the OGs, it's going to be $25.
Oh.
For whitelist, it's going to be $50, and for public mint, it's going to be $75. So we basically half the price that we initially planned with, but we were in a totally different market situation back then, and we also had a different scope of the project, and now we cut down the collection to 1,650 NFTs. So it's going to be fairly small, but we plan to expand it over the follow-on collection. But so like the follow-on collections are going to be bigger than 1,500, and that is all going to be adjusted to what the market tells us. The demand is going to be, and obviously we also want to reward the early investors, and that's why we don't want to oversell it and sell too many. So there's going to be a lot of sell pressure, but this way I think most people are going to hold one or two NFTs, and I think that makes it way more competitive than having like an oversupply of NFTs. And right now the investor base in the Kadena system is just to say it honestly, very small. I think we have to count with maybe 2,000 active investors, and that's very little, and has gone down significantly. But we still want to launch it and keep up our promises, and then deliver on our roadmap. And for the team, obviously, like the payoff is going to be in years from now, instead of like on the mint date, which I think is good, and it's also like gives us the right incentive to build on an awesome project, and doesn't make it feel like a cash grab either, right? Because I think that's what we're seeing right now with all the meme coins and and copycat NFTs popping up. I don't want to name any project names, but I think people are recognizing them, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few rugs, I believe. So I hope people recognize it faster, because you still see so much traffic on meme stuff than the actual stuff. But it's gonna come, you know, and if Kadena NFT season just started and all that. But you just said further collections. What are they gonna have in mind, or is it basically expanding the collection you have for more people, or what were your thoughts on that?
No, further collections, we actually don't want to expand the collection we have right now, because like the investors that decide to win right now, it would be kind of unfair for them to expand the initial collection, because then the supply suddenly expands, and the one token is going to be completely diluted. Sorry?
Or better said, the utility of the other collections, are they going to be, they have the same utility then as the first collection? Like, what are the differences?
The thing is, like, if you hold of the first collection, you're going to have the greatest utility, obviously, because that's what we're kind of about, like rewarding the early investors. And also, like, the second and third collection is going to come with the utility. But talking about what the collections actually are, we have planned a mutant collection. So there's going to be mutant alpha slayers.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if I can say it already. We're gonna go into different dimensions.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting more and more excited for you guys, and I can't wait until. So I'm kind of out of questions. You guys have,
that's okay.
Have anything to say or ask, or I don't know.
Yeah, what are you most excited about in the Kadena ecosystem right now?
So I'm really getting my long-term, or my focus on long-term vision of Kadena or the ecosystem. One thing I am personally really bullish on are the mining NFTs. Like, if you understand how early we are, what the NFTs are bringing, or what value they are going to bring for mining and Kadena mining. I think if you just followed 1 year in your head, you'll see how big this is going to be. So mining NFTs is one aspect I'm really bullish on and looking forward to see how this grows. But generally, like Kadena itself, because I want to learn, I want to build stuff, I want to see where this goes. You know, we are so early, so I just want to see how the branches get built out, how everything's working, and I'm so excited to see this in real time.
Amazing. We are as well, for sure. And I mean, what you said, like in 1 year, like everything could be like so much bigger.
Yep.
I think that's definitely true, like ecosystem wise, and also like fundamentals wise. I think price wise, we can expect Kadena and also like all its ecosystem coins to act accordingly to the market. So like, let's see what happens, like from a macroeconomic perspective, and yeah, that could take a couple of years, and could also just take, I don't know, some month. But yeah, I mean, it's worthwhile to be early in this ecosystem, and we are super bullish on the Kadena ecosystem and love to be here and be part of it.
And I'm also ready to learn all about the DeFi stuff and more technological stuff. I'm having so much fun here. I don't know. That's all I can say. I'm having so much fun and enjoying everything. And I'm ready for some great alpha.
Yeah, you will definitely get that from our YouTube channel, and also if you mint one of our NFTs, then you get early access to all the information, and yeah, also exclusive information. Yeah, like we're just super happy to be here and that you invited us. Also being fun getting interviewed instead of always interviewing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Chris from KPN has said that on our YouTube channel as well, that he's always like the one asking a question. And I realized that when I pitched the project in the beginning that I'm totally out of out of the grind and wasn't used to it anymore. It's a bit stumbly, but it was definitely fun, and thanks for taking the time and inviting us.
Of course, and I'm happy to always have you guys on the show. If you have any important updates or anything, yeah, always happy to talk, and also thankful that you came onto this show. I'm just looking back 2 months where I was and where I am now, and if I just think where I'll be in 2 months or what I'll know more, crazy. This was it. I hope everyone of y'all watching is subscribed to Blogs and Brains, is following Alpha Slayers on Twitter, and is excited as I am for Monday. So this was basically it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.